I guess we'll start with, so a few minutes ago when we had Noah Pierre here, he was talking about Wisconsin game. He dropped the pass in the end zone. He comes up, he said, "You're a dog," all that. Mentally, I guess, how do you feel like you've maybe improved with handling in-game adversity in the past few weeks, or really since you maybe transitioned?
Just in practice, like we go through adversity in practice. Like practice is really hard. We try to like push ourselves to like our limits and keep going, you know. So that helps us fight through adversity in the games.
What do you feel like has been the difference for you the last couple of weeks that's helped you really step up?
Really just with Cam Kemper being out, you know, like somebody has to like follow his footsteps and really like, you know, take the receiver room to the next level and just keep us on the rise and stuff like that. So just the last couple of weeks, really just been trying to lock in and really just, you know, be there for my guys, you know. That's all.
How do you go about that kind of mentality? Is it kind of just about putting that extra 1% in every day?
Yeah, like I feel like in our receiver room, like it doesn't matter who's out there. Like the position has a standard, so whoever's in there, you just have to play to that standard and just be that guy.
Since you moved to wide receiver last year, I mean, there's been so many moving parts around you. I mean, 2 different wide receiver coaches, 2 offensive coordinators, 5 quarterbacks. Just how have you been able to kind of develop the way you have with all that those moving pieces around you?
Just staying focused. I feel like my mentality is just to keep getting better every day and just keep working on the little things and try to fix things that I feel like I'm not good at. And that's something I try to do, like something I try to focus on every day.
How difficult is it to kind of keep adapting as things like that keep changing?
I mean, I'm used to it. Like it's not hard to adapt to. I mean, you gotta adapt to any situation that you're in. So.
What do you know, especially given the numbers you put up the last couple of weeks and just the way you've been playing now, what do you feel like is the biggest difference now from where you were this time last year?
Really just being able to like understand like what to do when a guy is playing a certain leverage, or you know, like I don't know, just understanding what to do, you know. I feel like the mental aspect of the game really helps with the physical part, because you can't just rely on like your physical ability. So just knowing like how to release off the line, or what type of like zone break or man break you need to do, like really helps.
When did you start to see that mental side of the game click a little more? I know you were starting to get there more in the off season and spring ball and things like that. Like, is that something that's really come along more as this season started?
Yeah, it just comes with like experience. I really saw it click last spring. I really started to like kind of take my game to a different level. Like last spring.
Did you work with an outside coach at all, or in the off season, or was that just you kind of feeling more comfortable?
Yeah, I work with some people outside of like during the off season sometimes, so not just by myself.
Did you notice, like after kind of improving mentally in the spring, like when you took the field to start the fall this year, like did you notice that kind of difference?
Yeah, like you feel that like that just comes with being like in the play, like in the system, you know, like knowing the system. Just kind of you can kind of see little things like different things that maybe you didn't see when you first learned it. Yeah, that just comes with the experience and being in the system for a long time.
You talk much on the field, like on Saturday when those guys were getting the pass and they couldn't cover you. Do you say anything, or is it one of those things where you just kind of let your play do the talking?
Yeah, I try to let my play do the talking, but if there's some trash talking, like we can do that.
Did you feel them getting frustrated, the corners that were trying to cover you?
Yeah.
How early did you guys like recognize, like, I mean, they were called for like 4 or 5 pass interferences? Like, is that something you talk with Brendan, just like, hey, throw me the ball, like they can't guard me or something, anything like that?
Yeah, like Sorsby, he'll know. Like, of course I'll tell him like I feel like he can't guard me, but he'll know too at the same time. You know?
How do you think your guys' like chemistry has grown, you and Brendan, over the last month or so?
I feel like it's really grown a lot. And that's not even just on the field. Like, we'll maybe just go get food together or something like that. So that's really my guy.
Obviously, drawing pass interference penalties isn't something that necessarily, reflects in the box score, but how much of a victory do you kind of feel like that is when you draw a flag like that?
I mean, it's not something I necessarily want, but can't. Like, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. So.
What did you see from Brendan on the 2-minute drive, kind of his demeanor and leadership qualities, like when you guys are, in a tough spot like that and he kind of comes through?
I just saw maturity from him. Like, he wasn't phased or anything. He was just locked in, and that's what I like to see.
Is that different or maybe improved from maybe a month ago or from what you'd seen earlier in the season from him?
Yeah, like you could tell he's just taking strides. He just keeps taking strides. So.
How do you kind of handle that line between, like, yeah, I had this incredible individual performance, but we lost? I guess, how do you kind of analyze that performance in the last few days?
I mean, really, like, you could, like me, I'm just going out there to do my job and try to help my team get the win. And if we don't come out with the win, like, I feel, if we don't come out with the win, like, I feel like I didn't do my job to the best of my ability, Like, I feel like I could have done more. Like, as an individual and as an offense, we could have done more. Like, we could have put up more points. So.
Have you thought at all maybe about that overtime sequence?
I thought about it, but I didn't let it, like, affect me, like, negatively.
I feel like one of the things that's one of the biggest differences in your game this year, like compared to last year, is just your route running and being a lot more precise. How do you go about kind of improving that?
Just locking in on the film, like just watching yourself run routes and stuff like that. That really it helps you understand like what you have to do within the route. And yeah, I feel like me watching myself a lot, it really helps get me better.
I feel like a lot of the times when we've had other receivers out here, I think we've had Cam here, we've had EJ here, I think we have Carter here as well. Every time that they've kind of talked about you, they've mentioned how they've tried to maybe pass along a few things here or there. How important has maybe their veteran, knowledge and wisdom been in your, evolution as a receiver?
It's been extremely important. Like, those guys really helped me, like perfect my craft. I feel like Cam Camper and EJ and Anderson Kobe, Cam Perry, Omar, like all those guys, I take like little nuggets from them, like every single day. Like, I'll ask them questions about releases, like how did you get his hands off, like all type of things, and they'll just drop a lot of knowledge.